This video is looking at what happens to old Formula D cars when they're done. It's sometimes sad. We looked at some D1 cars recently, the Team Orange cars, and that video went viral and was kind of fun, and it wasn't very hard to make, and it was kind of a cool concept. So right now we're about to look at what happens to old Formula D cars that cost the owners massive amounts of money, time, life force, love, probably relationships, family members, friendships, and what was it all worth in the end to have a race car? This is it. This is what happens when you get a new race car and you push your old one aside and his new love is in the garage, taken care of, and this one's just under a tent that's literally falling down and collapsing on top of it. And he hasn't even cared. Like, he has to have known the tent fell down. So why don't you tell us what happened to the car, why it's sitting here, why it's not put together? Like, I don't understand what happens after all this, how the car just sits here.
Thank you so much to BC Racing Coilovers for supporting everything Drift Week does and Lone Star Drift. They are the most supportive coilover company in the world for drifting. Thank you so much. Drifting would not be the same without them. Thank you to ECU Master USA. They make so much standalone ECU stuff, sensors, different parts. They make cool power distribution models. They do so much stuff. The driver, or the owner, Zach, drives with us at Lone Star Drift. He supports a ton of our guys. We really appreciate him and we really appreciate the product. Thank you so much. Thank you to Y-Plate Imports. If you need a right-hand drive Japanese model car from over in Japan and you want it delivered and everything done turnkey and you just get an amazing JZX or some right-hand drive car you've always wanted, hit up Y-Plate Imports. They have been in business for quite some time and done tons of cars and can take care of you. Hit up them and just ask some questions and stuff. That's good for that. And also thank you to Torco Oils and Fuel. They are supporting Drift Week. Thank you so much to you guys. We're gonna be using their products on the trip. They make cool stuff and I'm super excited to have a new sponsor. Thank you, Torco.
And Drift HQ.
Yeah, so the car saw asphalt in 2016 was the last time it was running and driving. It got disassembled, the drivetrain got taken out of it for the new Formula Drift car. And you wanna like open that up and actually look?
Sure, let's look.
Yeah, there we go. We can take
it makes it kind of just look sadder.
Yeah, it definitely looks really sad. And oh, we can talk about those balls too.
Okay.
It still has its balls. But yeah, this is my old Formula Drift car, and it's all its glory. But yeah, when we built a new car, we took the good stuff off of this one and put it into the new one, and it got everything we wanted off it, and it ended up out here.
This doesn't make you sad?
It makes me sad.
It does make you sad?
I did finish the new motor for it, so it does have a motor sitting in the shop ready to go. Just need to find the time to clean all the nuts and stuff out.
In 2014, did you ever think the car would be sitting out here like this?
I never thought this car would ever end up outside.
Really?
From the day I got it. I used to drive this car to high school and stuff.
And then it was like a garage queen for a while, and like
for its whole life was a garage queen.
It's almost hard to get around to look at it. It's like adventure stuff. Come here, Sai. Look at this. Look at how they steer it. Look at how they steer the car. It still has the AC vents.
That's funny.
It still has his Formula D card in it. Still has his little Formula D identification number. Still has a lot of tire. Oh man, look at this. Still has tons of tire residue. He didn't even clean the tire residue off. Look at this.
Nope.
Just like piles of it. Sai likes eating weird stuff. You want to try it?
No, that's not. Wow, it's just like caked onto the frame rail.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You can just pull this stuff off. This is hilarious. There's as much of it as you want. This is what happens to the tires, if you guys don't know. When they come apart on Formula D cars and stuff, they don't just smoke and disappear like they do on normal like Lone Star Drift cars and stuff. They become mats of like weird tire junk. and they stick to the track and stuff. And he doesn't have Formula D tires up front, but they like make huge chunks on the track. And if you drive over them with your street car, you pick it up, and then it makes your tires super unbalanced. And I know that because I drive over that stuff all the time at TMS. Oh, sorry, keep going.
Oh, no,
You keep
you're
talking.
having fun. You can tell you're having
Yeah.
fun with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took all of the really cool stuff out of the car for drivetrain wise, and it ended up out here.
So most people, when they think of race cars, I heard stories about like all the original Carroll Shelby Cobras and stuff overseas just got left at the tracks because they weren't worth shipping back. And there was a disaster of race cars, you know, that were just forgotten to time and destroyed and stuff. You kind of, after you live it, you start to, careful you don't step on the hood side, but you're good. You start to realize that like race cars are difficult to store, you don't have space, you need the parts sometimes to build something else. And you kind of start to realize why they get pulled apart.
Yeah, you definitely, out of a privateer shop, you run out of resources of putting the car in a clean environment where it doesn't get destroyed and stuff like that. And then so the quickest place is put them outside.
And there's it's kind of, I lose, like, how do you say it? I lose track of things. No, I don't see the things as like well as fans sometimes.
Yeah.
Except when I'm a fanboy about something, which is like, say, old D1 cars. You wonder what happened to them. And then you see pictures of them and they're just like left in fields. They look like this and you're like, how could you have done that?
Yeah.
That was my dream car when I was young. There's got to be kids that were watching Formula D that loved SC300s and you were their driver because you had the car they did and not many people did. And then they see this and they're like, oh my God, that car I loved sits there like this.
I'm sure somebody is very angry at me for treating my car this way. But it is kind of a reality thing with race cars. Anybody can get on YouTube and type in old race cars and you find it all the time like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you've never watched any of those?
No.
Oh man, I do that all the time. Just
This is a genre.
yeah, we can find all kinds of cool stuff. But
The heck are these things? There's two of them.
those were for the anti-lag system.
How do they work?
So somebody might be able to correct me because I'm not a professional at this kind of stuff. But this right here, if you want to get on this was connected to the compressor housing on the turbo, a one-way valve. There was a crossover tube that went from there to there. And these stored boost pressures. So if the car made 17 pounds of boost, it stored 17 pounds of boost. And that's what controlled the MAC valves, which would then open the wastegate to redirect the, I believe it was the exhaust gases, to make the anti-lag system stay pressurized. So, and that's how we kept the boost issues from not falling out of boost. The car could, at basically idle, we could bring it up on the anti-lag system and it'd make like 4 pounds of boost at idle.
For how long?
For a few seconds, long enough for you to get back on throttle.
Interesting.
So
And the ECU controlled all that?
the ECU controlled all that.
Okay.
So
And was it like on a switch so you could turn it off if you didn't like it?
yeah, we had a button in there that would turn it on for however long you needed it on, and then after a run we would turn it off.
Cool.
So
And how much boost did you make to make 900 horsepower in this thing?
I believe this car was right around 32 pounds of boost.
Okay.
So
On what turbo?
we were running a Precision 6766 in this car, I believe.
Very cool.
So
And you think this car is better than your FRS?
for me,
Yes.
for me, it fit me better than the other car for my liking and my style and stuff like that. As far as the actual how good the car was as a competition car, the FRS is probably better.
Really?
Yeah. Besides in a straight line. These things are way faster in a straight line.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever tried to drive an FRS with 800 horsepower? Those little traction bars are garbage.
Oh, I didn't
So
think about
they don't squat and put power to the ground that well, in my
Very,
opinion.
very few FRS drivers have ever driven a car over 220
This is true.
horsepower.
This is true.
That's me.
This is true.
Our camera guy has an FRS and it is really slow. His 350Z that's stock is like
Faster.
murder fast compared to it. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for showing us
Yeah.
your old forgotten race car.
Yeah,
I
it,
hope one day that it brings you joy again.
Well, if you do a Drift Week 4, I'll try to bring this.
Okay.
You gonna put interior and stuff back in there, make it comfortable?
No.
You're brave.
Maybe I'll get Mike to drive it.
In the
for me.
spirit of Drift Week, you still have 2 weeks left, and you can
Yeah.
fix this thing and get it ready.
I have everything here to fix it and put
Do
it back
it.
together.
Get your friends out.
Yep.
You're like, no,
Yep.
no.
If we didn't have a grocery store to run, I'd say, yeah, you're on.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Sai, let's
Cool.
go look for the next forgotten piece of history to make fun of. I love it. Hi, everybody. I want to say thank you for watching the video, and here is all the dates for Drift Week 3 out in the Pacific Northwest. We're going to be out on multiple, I think 4 public dates. You can probably see them over here. And we're going to be drifting, doing ride-alongs, entertaining you guys, driving across the country, having people walk behind me. I'll see you there. Bye.